Greetings, pilgrims, and welcome to episode 35 of the Polygon Pilgrimage. Today we are going to be starting a three-part series in which I am learning how to sculpt the normal definition for this pillow. And I'm sure you've seen the pillow I've posted online. I'm working on the house project, and the master bedroom needs pillows. So I found that creating folds is quite difficult. And so my first step here is I did my research. I went to Google searching for how to draw folds, how to draw fabric folds. I got lots of pictures of pillows. This is only about, a tenth of the number of pictures I got. These are all super high res so that I can look at each fold and crease and kind of figure out the physics behind what's going on. Now, the second step is to break it down. And what I've discovered here through some just simple observation is most of folds in fabric as well as pillows is just a matter of points of tension. Combine that with hills and valleys and the fact that on a pillow specifically, the details tend to go from the outward in, leaving the inner section mostly alone. There are some instances here based upon the exact material where there is some creasing on the inside, but you might be able to get away with some large-scale noise in that general area, and for the most part it's just the outer edges that we're treating. So back to the folds, what I've learned here is essentially points of tension and lack thereof. You'll notice that all the creases come from a point where there's some pressure or some kind of an overlapping force that is pulling. And so you can see a good example of this here with some of the really nice ZBrush sculpting that people have done. The points of tension from the shoulder, as I pull my arm back, it's going to pull on the fabric. And here you can see the tension underneath the strap on the guy's coat. So now that I've broken it down, the next big thing is to practice. Really, it's just one of those things that you have to do it a lot to kind of really understand at an intuitive level how things work. Finally, third section here is to know your tools. I know that I could model this inside of Max, but that would be really painstaking and a huge waste of time. Use your tools to their full advantage. So, of course, ZBrush is the way to go for something like this. We have all kinds of fancy tools to help us out, and sculpting is just one of those things that is so intuitive and so fast that we can get the detail we're looking for with ease. Now, the final thing I've learned, and I'll switch over to ZBrush here to show you, here's the pillow object I brought in directly from Max. You can see it's pretty low res, and as I move up the scale here in subdivisions, and I just switch this off, you can see I started to try my hand at some sculpting there, and I'll show you another object where I did a whole lot. The final thing I've learned is that because it's a white object, you really need to exaggerate your normals a bit for this particular type of object. Now, the other thing you can take into account is when you bring this into the game, you can always scale how extruded these normals are, and you can always scale back if you want to. So this was my base starter object here, and I can show you if I load tool. Wow, ZBrush is slow. There we go. It's coming up. There we go. All right, so down here, number 2, I believe here, is with all the fancy details. And I tried my hand at this for a few hours, just trying on one pillow, and ultimately I'm going to end up doing 20 or 30 pillows here. But here's my final result, and I tried the surface noise. I didn't really like it. And you can see here I tried to make some creases, and you could say, hey, this looks pretty good. Yeah, but I'm not 100% satisfied with it, especially with the way that this goes onto the model. So that's something to keep in mind is you're going to, like I said, you're going to have to exaggerate a bit because of the size. You're going to see it on screen at any one point as well is going to be a bit smaller than you would expect. So probably something more like this. So for one, the details all get smaller. So they need to be readable from quite a distance. And then, of course, up close, you want some up close details too, if I do get up to it and admire the work, because of course people will admire your work. So you want to make sure that it's there for them as well. Okay, guys, so that's all we've got for this week. Next week, we're going to go into some actual sculpting here. I just wanted to give you the basic intro of do your research, make sure you break it down, really understand what it is you're about to do. It's going to require a lot of practice. This was just an hour or two of my time, so obviously it needs more. Know your tools. I know that I'm going to use ZBrush for this. So I need to understand that because it's a mostly white object, these details need to be exaggerated for it to catch the light properly. All right, guys, so with that, take this into practice with anything that you're sculpting or anything that you're building. Myself in particular, I'm learning how to make pillows, so pillows it is. Keep practicing, you'll get better, and join me next time as the pilgrimage continues.